Hi, this is Jason from Horrific Nightmares. Welcome to another edition of Horrific Venoms, Alphabet of Doom. This is the weekly collaboration I do with my very good friend, Last Venom 76, also known as Eric, where we do a two-part review. He takes care of part one, which is a martial arts masterpiece. I take care of part two, which is actually a horror recommendation. We are on letter Y as we're making our way through the alphabet, and for Y I picked You'll Like My Mother. You'll Like My Mother is a 1972 film, which is exactly a year after I was born, and it runs 92 minutes. Now this is directed by Lamont Johnson. He also did One-on-One and Lipstick, and a bunch of TV. Now, One-on-One was a very good film, featuring Robbie Benson and Annette Bening. Very young. Unfortunately, he passed away on October 24th, 2010, at the age of 88. Now, this stars Patty Duke, everybody's mom, as Francesca Consolving. She passed away on March 22nd, 2016, at the age of 68. She basically did a ton of TV. You name it, she was in it at one time or another. This also stars Rosemary Murphy as Mrs. Consolving. She passed away on July 5th, 2014, at the age of 89. She was in the legendary movie To Kill a Mockingbird, The Attic, and The Hand. This also stars Richard Thomas as Kenny. He was in the movie adaptation for It, and he did a ton of TV, most notably The Waltons. This also stars Sian Barbara Allen as Kathleen, and she was basically in a ton of TV. You'll Like My Mother. It's a very, very interesting film, one I hadn't heard of before I bought it, so it was a blind buy. The one drawback, it does kind of come off as a TV movie, but if you look at the record of the director, that's basically what he made. And as far as I'm concerned, there have been so many great made-for-TV movies. This is not one of them, however. This was rated PG, and did make it to the theaters. And a brief synopsis. Patty Duke, of course, plays Francesca Consolving. She is a recent widower. Her husband was in the military and passed away. She takes this cross-country bus ride to meet his mother, Mrs. Consolving, played by Rosemary Murphy, to kind of let her know, not to necessarily let her know about her son, because, of course, that's his mom and he already knows, but, to kind of meet the wife, because she had never met her before. And she is actually pregnant, I guess about 8 months pregnant, to kind of clue her in on what's been happening. Now, when she reaches the Consolving residence, she is greeted by her husband's mom, who is not a very nice person, and who was kind of, let's say, very angry that her son got married after knowing her for 2 weeks and now has a child. She basically does not consider her or the child, the unborn child, family. And there is also a rapist in the house. I'm not going to tell you who it is, or someone who's been accused of rape. I'm not going to tell you who it is, but, just to give you kind of a overlay of the story. Unfortunately, where they're at, I believe they said it was Minnesota, it is snowing like crazy, and she cannot leave. And that kind of presents a bit of a problem. This is a fantastic movie with a huge twist, and it's very, very suspenseful. That's one of the things I like about this so much. My favorite horror movie being Halloween. They don't really show hardly any blood in that film. It's the suspense that really puts that movie over the top for me. This movie had a ton of suspense. Yeah. This is a sleeper for sure. It's acted extremely well. The story is really, really creative, I think, especially for 1972. Granted, when you see it, you've seen this before, but this was in 1972, before a lot of the movies that copied this came out. So bear that in mind if you do watch this film. And definitely check out Eric for part 1 of Horrific Venoms, Alphabet of Doom, where he will present you with a martial arts masterpiece. And if you like what you see in here, hit that like button and subscribe. And until next time, peace.